Are you finding yourself having to go to men?
I'm finding myself going through my phone book going, hey, long time. Hey there. I'm being serious. As a woman, when you hit 40, there's a switch that goes on in your vagina. When you wake up in the morning, you're horny at lunchtime, you're horny after lunch, you're horny at dinner time, you're horny at sunset, you're just horny.
Nkululeko on Cultr.
Nkululeko and Cultr. Hello and welcome to yet another episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and commenting on the content. Very special guest today, Ntsiki Mazwai, needs no introduction. And as noba uyimbongi na, okanye uyi activist. Are you more of a poet than an activist? More of an activist?
Ngesintu ndimbongi yomthonyama, which means that abantu abadala use my body and my voice as a vehicle when they want messages to come through to the people. So in the English sense, then that would be an activist, because then I'm using my voice for people. But okwesintu ndimbongi yomthonyama.
Okay, there you go. Awukafiki kula nqanaba gogo, not thokoza gogo. You haven't reached that
I
level.
actually have.
Oh. Kaloku abantu bakathokoza gogo, they insist on that greeting formally.
You know what? When your gift is yours, I don't need to insist on anything because I know that I'm a go-go. So I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
No,
I'm
it's all
cool.
good.
I'm cool. You pick it up along the way as
Sure.
as you engage with me yourself, you know. So we don't really have to. I'm very chilled.
How are you finding Unpopular Opinion? Unpopular Opinion is your YouTube channel. I've watched Andrem Mutama there, and I've watched Nkululeko Nkewu there. Those are the ones I specifically watched, and I've seen on the thumbnail there was Samke. There were various interesting individuals. I think Advocate Busiwe Mkhwebane was there as well.
Yeah.
How are you finding talking to people and you being on the other side, being the interviewer?
You know, it's actually my calling. Even though people think I talk too much, I'm actually also a great listener. I love information. So I'm a thinker. So engaging people and getting to know their stories and understanding them and understanding the thought process and laying it out for me, that's my favorite thing in the world. Even with strangers in the streets when I'm just doing my own thing, I always end up listening to people's stories. So I'm happy that me and my team, well, our team, because it's not like my team, our team, is choosing guests that are validating and affirming the black child and making them realize their value. Because you always find that a lot of the content, especially on mainstream, it's always ridiculing abantu abamnyama or cooning. You've got to be stupid. You've got to dance. You've got to, you know. So for once, we can just be clever and sit down and have clever conversations.
Yeah. And have you tried to train yourself in the regard of asking the questions as opposed, because you are a very popular interviewee. People want to hear your views. You were very big on podcasts a few years ago. So how are you finding that you now need to ask people questions?
It's so interesting. The crossover is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I've had to train myself to not center myself and not make it about me.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, I'm still learning to do that. I'll catch myself going, yeah, even me. And I'm just like, oh, Ntsiki, there's that me, there's that I. It's not supposed to be in your interviews. So gradually, slowly, I catch myself and I correct it. But there is definitely a difference between being on that side and the side of the chair.
Absolutely. And it's a journey that a lot of us go through. I've seen it with Penwell, the Black Pen. He's doing the Penwell show now. And they're doing dope numbers. And he's had to train himself to ask the questions and not insert himself on the situation. Listen to people's stories without you're present, but you're not present.
Yeah, almost fine.
Yeah,
just hold the space for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know? And it takes great wisdom.
Yeah, for sure. What is your approach to things like numbers and people's comments? Because I mean, you are now, all of us as content creators, to varying degrees, we are running television channels,
Yeah.
in essence, and radio
Yes.
stations, and
Yes.
people call in on the comment section. That's our call in.
Yeah.
People call in to voice their opinions about content. How are you approaching that? The feedback from the masses.
The feedback has been so blessed and so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have Nota trolling us in the comment section every week, but every village has its own. So we accept Amahlanya etu la Mzansi. But the feedback has been phenomenal, you know. People are excited to...
What is it trolling you all about?
Eh?
What is it trolling you all about?
Just random things. I mean, the other time he said, I'm lucky that the public protector will come to somebody as lowly as me who has not achieved anything, you know? Just like things where you know someone is trying to provoke you. Then you're like, oh yeah, anyways. Yeah, she came to me, not you.
Yeah. Well, that's quite something though.
Yeah.
That's quite a comment.
That's what I was saying.
That's quite a comment. But like, there was a picture when you were going through your legal situations. There was an image that emerged between yourself and Nunota. And of course, people made assumptions that, okay, you are allies. What happened in that relationship? Was there a relationship in the first place?
And must answer this carefully. I mean, I kind of feel like Nota hustled himself into my space for his own benefit and to climb up the social ladders. So me being in his corner kind of sanitized and made him look good. So, I mean, even now, I think it's very messy what he's doing with his wife and how he talks about women. So the fact that he's used the Ntsiki Mazwai brand to kind of normalize what's happening also makes me feel uncomfortable. But I did appreciate him being vocal during my court case. So, I mean, there's always give and take, and there's always positive and negative. So from a positive point of view, I appreciate that. But from a negative point of view, I don't like that my brand was used to normalize the insanity that is playing out right now. Yeah.
So you clearly have your opinions about his actions as it relates to the wife and the situation. Like, what's your take on that as you observe it?
I mean, I don't like Tingeni Ndaba Zabantu, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do feel that when men don't honor the feminine spirit, it backfires. So I worry more than anything. I'm like, go for counseling or go sort this out. Don't play it like this, because spiritually, even if you look at all the men that have messed with the feminine spirits, izinto zabo don't go well. So just from a spiritual point of view, I'm just like, hey, this is messy.
Yeah, it's very difficult because we don't know both sides of that story. Nota is a friend of mine that I chat to regularly. And I've said to him on camera that I find it uncomfortable to talk about that shit. Just from a perspective of my upbringing as a Xhosa man from Western and Eastern Cape, it's like shit. And it's like I find it very uncomfortable. But yeah, is a person that we engage. And we try to persuade each other, yo, let's try to do this. How about you do that type of thing? But ultimately, a person is going to do what they're going to do. Was there falling out between yourself and him? And what was perhaps the circumstances? If we saw the two of you as allies at some point in time, was there falling out? And what were the circumstances around that? What happened?
I don't like giving Nota so much airtime, you know? Why don't we move to the next topic? Is this a burning thing that you guys want?
No,
It's a burning question.
No, it's not a burning question.
It's not a burning question. Ask him again, man. Young bora, that guy.
Okay. Shout out to NOT.
And be better, Nota, be better.
Okay, all right. As it relates to unpopular opinion, before we move on to something else, I just want to finish up on that. What's your overall plan? I think you've touched 6,000 subscribers now. Congratulations on that. It is growing decently. What is your overall objective with that in terms of the types of guests? I mean, you mentioned the
Yeah.
people that you brought in. Are you open to the idea of speaking to
People I don't agree with.
exactly misogynists
Completely.
and stuff like that?
I'm very careful about that. I won't be a platform for or alleged. Definitely not. I will have your victim first before I have the alleged victim. So I try to move away from there. Also, if you're known for beating up women and stuff, I'm the type of person that is very yes is yes and no is no. So if I've made a stand on GBV and I'm just like, that doesn't fit into my brand, then nobody who's associated to that will come anywhere near my brand. So in that regard, I won't. We've spoken with the team. I'm like, I won't sit down with somebody who abuses women or rapes women.
Yeah.
However,
Which is the interesting question would be then, for example, a case of Utole Smo was, I think, legally exonerated. Would you be comfortable having that conversation?
I don't think I would because I know the justice system and I know that you cannot rape and get into jail and you can rape and not get into jail. So the justice system is not a valid reason. For me, as somebody who has also been raped, I know how important it is to be believed. So I will always end up on the side of the victim. If I'm proven to be wrong about a victim, I'd rather apologize and be like, oh, sorry about that, and wow, she must get arrested and it's wrong, as opposed to me choosing the wrong side, then somebody has been and then not believed on top of that. That's very traumatic. So I think there's more trauma in being raped and not believed than there is in being accused of rape. So for me, I have to believe the victim.
So I understand what you're saying, and it's a very difficult topic
is
to
a
navigate
difficult-
around
yeah.
it. It's particularly from myself, from where I stand, it's very difficult because whatever I say after what you've just said can be construed one way or the
As
other.
a rape apologist,
You know what I'm saying?
and
And you can't even be a journalist in this moment where you're like, okay, I want to counter this, but I can't. I want to counter that, but I can't. But perhaps your stance on the legal system exonerating people, how then do you know if someone has done wrong if you don't believe the not guilty and the evidence that, no, this was a situation where someone was
when it comes to rape, what is the evidence? You guys want to see a bleeding vagina? The thing is that it's two people who were there, and both people can lie. So, for example, I was raped, but I don't have the evidence. So does that mean I was not raped? Even now, I can't open a case because that's exactly what's going to happen in court. They're going to be like, there's not insufficient evidence. Then what's going to happen is that I'm going to be labeled as a liar. And then he's going to be like, oh, he was falsely accused. But that's not the truth. The truth is me and him know that night I was raped. But he can lie. They lie. Rapists lie. So the court system doesn't say anything. And also for a country that is in the top 3 GBV in the world globally, it's strange that we don't have structures that deal with this. Like how you have the hawks and the scorpions for white collar crimes and stuff, or traffic cops for the traffic. We are in a situation where we need cops for GBV, and we need to break it down because there's different types of rapes, and there's intimate partner rape, there's the violent that you guys are expecting, the one of the gang by strangers, but no, it can happen with husband and wife, where the wife has said, no, I don't want to. Then he forces himself. That's where a girl is drunk, too drunk to even know what she's doing, and then you have sex with that. So there's all these layers of that we still need to unpack as society. That's why it's strange that we don't have a system that deals specifically with and GBV in South Africa. It's very strange. So until we have that, victims are in trouble. And you need to realize that if there's 100 accusations, only like one is going to be false. The false accusations is not an issue in our country. We don't have a problem in South Africa where it's like, oh my God, there's false accusations. We've got a problem. We've got a problem of guys, I got, oh my God, I got. If the false accusation story is so big, how come you don't have activists that are actively all the time working on this issue? How come it needs for us to be like, I believe her, for you guys to be activated? Yabo? So we've got a problem in this country, and for as long as we don't have leadership that's going to deal and directly go into the GBV problem that we've got, people are going to do as they please.
Do you, in your opinion, think that this is getting significantly worse, or it's a problem that stays the same, or it's getting better?
The thing is that now that can see that the system can work in their favor, especially since there's no evidence, then the cases get thrown out. It means that it's emboldened the rape. The past couple of years have shown alleged that, oh, okay, I can do this thing, then just sue for defamation of character if this person comes out.
Yeah. I want to go back to Unpopular Opinion. We were talking about people that you would not want to talk to. You would be uncomfortable talking to.
I'll talk to anybody, just don't challenge my status quo on GBV. I'm not going to give perpetrators a platform.
Do you think that that is a stance that's fair for your audience, that they can engage in a robust interchange between yourself?
There's no robust interchange when somebody is doing something criminal. They belong in jail, not on podcasts. There's no robust. We are a society. We need to fix ourselves and correct ourselves. If we're going to sit here with criminals and make it seem like it's not such a big deal what you did, haha, let's laugh about it. Yeah, you smashed. Oh, well done. It's not going to fix the problem. It's when you ostracize users that you say, Guti, you're not welcome in our community. You're not welcome on platforms until you correct yourself. You come right. Melu ufundu ukuphila nabantu. Otherwise, stay over there.
It's interesting because it's an interesting challenge even for us as content creators. I suppose the complexity is the part where we only have one framework that finds people guilty or not, where I can only know that you are a criminal based on the fact that a judge has found you guilty of such. It's a difficult call for me as a layman to make that. Like, until you are judged by someone within a legal framework, I cannot label you as a criminal. It's a judgment call for the podcaster. It's a predicament for the.
I hear you. It's just that our justice system is not in a place where we can just go with it. I mean, we can see what it's doing. I mean, even with the Zuma case, how he was, because it was his arrest was actually unlawful. When you when you look at it, and you're just like, yeah, but So, and what are the charges? And so already the justice system has shown itself that if you've got economic power, then you're gonna be fine. So our justice system is for the rich. I can confirm that. And judges are human beings, so are lawyers, and money will always have power. Yeah.
Yeah, masidlule ke nomdade kulona.
I know. I see. I'm stressing you.
No, you're not stressing me. I'm literally trying to tiptoe around the topic because I know, like, I don't. It's like, yo, I'm a man, and there's gonna be things I might say that are gonna offend people. So I need to be sensitive to your stance whilst pushing back sufficiently that I represent the other side as well, but I can't represent it too much without
looking like a rapist yourself.
Exactly, because all it was now adlongule yabo kudala nayithetha lo platform kwazalwa mina yabo.
Oh my god.
Yabo into enjalo. So xa ndiyincokolayo londo andiyincokoli ibe ngathi mhlambi isistory besisaid kuye sasiphila umuntu adabe na 32 ndaphila leyo nto yabo but ayonto enizacaba ndizawudefinewa yiyo yabo
Definitely not.
yabo into enjalo so ndiyayazi uba I know that there's
a
sensitivities
trauma
around this because that woman is in her 50s and she's still I think trying to deal with that.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big thing, you know. There was this I was having a telephone flirtation with someone. Then yeah. Then he was like, he mentioned something about aroused by rape.
Hayibo.
I've never run away so fast in my life. In my life.
Umuntu waphi lo?
Because I was just like, what? What? You know, I still can't process it. I'm just like... So it just seems as if people don't understand the trauma, the emotional, the psychological trauma that you go through. You know, there's a fear that you have that stays with you forever. There's a distrust of men that stays with you forever. There's just, so, yeah, people have, they play around with the effects of.
All right, thank you so much for representing that side too. I suppose on the comment section, people will have their views about what we've just spoken about to your benefit as the audience. I mean, I can only play a small role in this, ask questions. You've said that in the 40s, it becomes difficult to get laid.
Ooh, no, not difficult to get laid. It gets too easy.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that.
No, what happens is that because women, we've been socialized that only men must express themselves, right? So now we are this generation that's newish, right? And the generations before us used to keep quiet, and they were like, "Musadi tshwara I'd go tipeng or what, you know."
You'll get it when you get it.
Yeah. So now, when you get there as this generation that went to white schools that expresses themselves, you're like, "What the f- is?" You know, your vagina comes alive, and you're just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." Hold up. So when they said life begins in 40, you're like, this is what they actually meant, you know? So physiologically, your body changes as a woman. And where men are very horny when they're young, it peaks for them and starts going down. And for us, it's the other way around. It's inverted.
Sure.
So we like this. And then suddenly it made sense, the whole Ben 10 situation. And I remember when I was much younger, I used to look at women in their 40s and they always had this horny look. And I was just like, please have some dignity. Like, that's so disgusting. Like, you know, now I'm that 40-year-old. I'm just like, holy shit, I understand now. Flip.
Are you finding yourself having
now I've got the horny look now.
Yes, Galela, are you finding yourself having to go to men?
I'm finding myself going through my phone book going, shit. Hey, long time. Hey there. Hey, you.
Yeah. Is that true? Like, you're not joking?
I'm being serious. As a woman, when you hit 40, there's a switch that goes on in your vagina. When you wake up in the morning, you're horny. You're horny at lunchtime. You're horny after lunch. You're horny at dinner time. You're horny at sunset. You're horny. You're just horny.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast.
That's interesting because it means that to young men, we're not getting any. There is a group of women who are ready for you.
Yes. Correct.
It's just that we don't know.
I even heard some dodgy stories about what happens in Tabeni. Maybe you can verify. Abo mama are telling me stories.
You see, that's why we don't allow you guys. Because your wound is healing. You need your time. And then there comes the 40-year-old Ntsiki. You can't get action.
No, apparently the mums come just before. I've heard, but I could be wrong.
And yes,
I was like, I need to go help in Dabin, yes? Go to my social responsibility.
No. But so when you Geez, like I want to explore that. Like when you're feeling like that, because Nati, there's a point where you feel like you're helpless in your 20s.
Yes.
I've just maybe tipped that part because I'm 32.
Yes.
And I've gone through my 20s.
Where it's just on fire.
Yeah. I just want to do it, and then I just want to do, and I want to do.
Yep.
Are you guys as helpless as us?
It's exactly like that.
Yo.
You just want to do, you want to do, you want to do, you want to do. You're walking in the shops and you're thinking, damn, please show me your penis.
And it's
just
dirty
like that.
in the water. Like we
I
didn't
know.
know.
Even me, I didn't. I need the women to keep quiet until Ntsiki Mazwai had to be born with a big mouth and be like, "Yo, guys, there's something coming up in your 40s. Be ready."
Yeah, no. But would that not affect exclusive relationships, like monogamous relationships? Like
I
in the
don't-
same way that men, when they're being promiscuous,
You
it
know
affects
what?
their marriage.
I'm starting to realize that I don't think there's monogamous relationships.
Yeah.
I don't think there's such a thing. I'm realizing that abantu banamanga and siyaswenkelana and we're just lying.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think people get it when they need it. They go get it.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that Ntsiki Mazwai is a horny woman.
No,
It's not related
no.
directly to
Human
you.
beings are horny.
Well, I would want her to confirm this, but she's still in her 20s.
No, she's not gonna relate. She's not gonna relate. This around 30s when you start going, something feels a bit different. Then by 40, that's when it's like, okay, something's definitely changed.
Why would that be though biologically? Because I
So
suppose
interesting, right?
with women, if sex is for reproduction primarily, why would you want
I
to do
thought-
it at that window where you're no longer, or you're at risk when you get pregnant?
No, I don't know if I believe any of that because
Okay.
a lot of women have gotten pregnant at this age and been fine. I actually kind of feel like maybe this is the age when you're supposed to get pregnant, or maybe this is the age where you're about to finish producing eggs and your body's like, okay, quickly, now you really need to.
Yeah.
You know? But I get the sense that even mentally and spiritually, I'm much more ready now for another human being than I would have been when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I think, biologically, I think you should be having your kids after your 30s.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's safer because you probably are earning income. You have a house as well.
You're more stable.
You're matured, yeah. But of course, there's a risk. Like, you don't want to be... When you are between 40 and 50, if you give birth when you're 49, for example, your child will be 10 years old when you're 59, and you don't want to be running around 10-year-olds when you're 59.
Yes, there is that element, ne? There
Yeah.
is that element. I don't know, I guess so. I've never really had a long think about children. I don't think it's that important to me.
I have one, she's 10. I usually encourage people not to have them until they're ready.
Nah,
Because they take so much of your time.
they really do.
On average, my daughter
seen
takes me around 5 hours per day on average with homeworks, preparing. I was preparing at 6 a.m. for her to go to school. And she went to school and she's just around it, but I have to wake up at 6, even though I have nothing to do at that time. And when she comes back, there's homework. Sometimes we spend 2 hours and some stuff, recreational stuff that we need to do. So it's like, only if you have the time to do it,
Yep.
then you can make
see.
babies.
You see,
Yeah.
it's just a whole long. Children are a long thing. They are a very interesting project.
Yeah.
Lifetime commitment.
Absolutely. That's why I was like, someone was asking me last night am I looking forward to her being 16 because she will be difficult? And I'm like, yo, the sooner she gets to 16, the better, because it means she's closer to 20 and 21 and
You
getting
want
out
it
of my house.
out, get out of my house.
That's it. Because you're getting closer to 20 years and
Yes.
get the hell out. I want to hang out in a podcast. What kind of person are you in relationships? Like, do you like them? Are you annoyed by them?
You know, I'm actually I'm a lover. I'm a very clingy and I want to have fun. And
I don't know if we believe that as South Africa.
I know, that's what, it's so fascinating because it's almost protected me.
Yeah.
The image South Africa has of me
Yeah.
protects me a lot because people stay away and then I'm safe in my little world. So I'm the complete opposite of what you believe.
But some men are, they like extreme sports. So they'll be daring. They'll be like, I look at Ntsiki, she seems loud on social media.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let me
But
go
I don't
for
want those ones that are where I'm like a
I'm not
challenge,
Devils.
and
Yeah.
I want somebody who is interested in my mind and the way it works and won't try to control it. Someone who loves hanging out with me, who loves to play, because I'm very playful and I
Sure.
want to be near water and, you know. But you must also have your own thing because
Have
I'm
a
a
life.
lot.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't want to be the main event
Mm.
of the relationship. You must be able to be like, no, I'm busy, babes. I can't see you today. I like that challenge of, what? How dare you say no to me? What? You know, so it's somebody for me is going to have to be very special, very strong.
Yeah. You question monogamy as it relates to how people are horny and how much they want to have sex. You think that people are cheating out there, and I think I do believe you. Of course, we are adult human beings. We know things. Would you be open to the idea of something other than monogamy then, knowing what you know?
Yeah, that's the thing I was about to say as you're speaking. You know, the biggest mistake we make is to think that one person can service all our needs. So we relate differently to different. Some people take care of our spiritual needs. Some of them it's our financial. Some of them it's our physical needs. So it's unrealistic to think that I'm gonna find somebody who's got everything that's going to that I want. So, you know, I'm fine with polygamy, but as long as he's got lots of money and I'm going to have my nice house on the side and I'm not going to feel, no, don't play. I'm not going to be in a polygamous relationship with a broke guy. Like, what the fuck? What's
I always believe that too. That everyone must be dope. Like everyone must feel
yeah,
like they're living a heavenly life.
Exactly, because I don't want to be there, you having your cake and eating it too, and then I'm there waiting for you. No. While I wait, baby, you're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
But that would be in exchange for your exclusivity to him, or you would be doing your things on the side as well. So if he has money and he provides and he gives you the life that you would desire,
Yeah, I
in
can be
exchange for your
quite.
exclusivity, you would do that?
I can be exclusive.
Yeah.
If he's giving me enough sex.
What is enough sex? Like if he only comes to you twice a week, that probably is insufficient.
Okay, no, I can work with twice a week. Because you know, nekukia katala, guys. So we need a rest sometimes, you know. And they sometimes got my period, you know. So twice a week is fine, as long as I'm not sexually dissatisfied. Financially and sexually, I must be covered. Then I don't mind. I will do my beadwork. I'll go to my gigs. I'm not really chasing men.
Sure. What are you gigging for now? Are you gigging as a poet, as a recording musician, or as a speaker?
I do all of them because I don't have the privilege of stable income. So if I'm needed to host, I will go and host. If I'm needed for poems, I will go and do poems. If I'm needed at the club, I will go to the club. I'm just chasing my money. I don't have a blesser, so I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I would just be gigging with my band all the time.
Sure.
But
What do you want to make music other than the poems? Like, do you want to make a different style of music at some point?
there is if you go onto the internet, I've got albums out.
Okay, other than the poems.
I'm basically, I do what rappers do. I put the poetry on music.
Okay, cool. I get what you're saying. Masithethe ngento engathi controversial, but ayikho controversial xa ndiyiva. But ke abantu bakhona ke uyabazi. When you said that gay men are not women, niggas were qanqalazing and that would seemingly look like an obvious statement to make. But of course, depending on which side you're on,
you know, and we must always be sensitive to the queer community because they are exposed to a lot of abuse, and I don't want to be a gateway for homophobia. In the same breath, I as a woman don't want to feel erased. I feel like as if there are different types of people in the world, and everybody got their lane and it's cool. Don't come out your lane and come into mine. And then I must just be like, okay, cool. Because I was actually talking about transgender. Actually, they call transgender women, I've learned. It's
Yeah.
not transgender men, it's transgender women.
A transgender man is a woman to man.
Yes,
transition.
yes. So transgender woman is a man to a woman
Yeah.
transition. So I was saying no, but even with transgender women,
Yeah.
we get our period. There's a whole thing that happens with women that is centered around being a woman. So we have our period for a week. We have got 1 free week. Then we're ovulating, and it's like we've got our period. Then it's the week before our period where we're PMSing. This is a cycle that goes on every day, all the time, every single month, all our lives. A man will never know that experience. Ever, 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 ever. So no matter how many sex changes you have or whatever, there are things that are innate to this journey of being a woman that you just can't erase. So things like when Kim Kardashian, when now he's winning Woman of the Year. So then where do the women win then? Right? Rather have your transgender Woman of the Year, that's cool, that's fine, you know? It is what it is. But once you come into my lane and now you're taking our awards, I'm just like, no, but... So that was where I was coming from. I was like, no, guys, when we welcome and are open and are compassionate to everybody and all human beings, can it not be at the expense of our own identity? So, yeah, with all due respect, I still feel the same.
She won Woman of the Year within a year of being a woman.
You know what I'm saying?
That means men are so good at being women.
Right?
That we rock.
That's just an extension of patriarchy and toxic masculinity. The men are tired of being men now. They want to come take over our space. I was just like, no, guys.
We are so good at being women that we're killing it within a year that we become Woman of the Year. What was your take on the reaction, though? Did you not... Were you startled by some of the reaction, which was extreme, as if you are... what is this thing? You are trivializing our abuse and stuff like that. You are enabling people to abuse us.
I never even engaged any of that because all along I've just been, you know, when your mind is sitting, I've been sitting on this transgender issue since then. And then now only, that's the first time I comment to be like, no, actually, I've thought about this for the past 5 years. I've watched Bruce Jenner and I sat down in my corner and I was like, And now I'm coming out and saying, This is part of a continuation of women. This is men taking up space now, coming into our space now. So it's just like, no, that's not what we meant when we were like, yeah, I didn't mean to erase myself as a woman when I made the circle bigger.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think it's Matt Walsh who did a documentary about what is a woman. And he got, even from academics and scholars and practicing doctors, he got various answers. But I think the one common American answer was that a woman is whoever defines themselves as a woman or whoever identifies as a woman. It was about identifying as opposed to being defined by the unique experience.
Yes.
Menstruation,
the gender
uterus,
and whatever.
giving birth.
I get, then I might as well identify as a white person. Do you understand? Because now since has Kete where we identifying it.
Yeah. Did you ever think when you were doing or wrong or in the 2000s that we would ever reach a point where we don't know who a woman is or what a woman is?
So insane. It's like how people don't know what an African is. When you start pointing out their things, what are you doing? Why are you following white people things? Look at you. They're like, no, but what's an African? What makes an African? And you're like, babes, I was born in Guti, you're melanated. I was born in Welezako Guti, they're different. When I was born in Guti, you're an African. When you look in the mirror, I was born in Guti, you're an African.
That we are look sometimes, yabo.
No, but my ancestors are upset at you, very. They're baffled at all of this.
Yeah. Can we close off the part about women and transgenders? What is maybe your parting shot? You've said what you said, of course. You don't need to explain it, but you said it, and then there was a reaction to it. There were articles generated from it. what is your final thought? I'm sure someone else is going to ask you again, but for the benefit of this audience, what are you learning from it? What are you learning about? Like you mentioned, the erasure of what a woman is and the legacy of women in the world.
I'm uncomfortable with it. I think that you can have different lanes and an array of different types of people that God has made, and it's stunning. But don't tell me this is that, because it's confusing for me. And can we just work with truth? And I can accept that you feel like you were born in the wrong body. I can accept that. But don't tell me that you are me when it's not like that. When we look in the mirror and we look, it's not the same. Well, before surgery. Because I'm like, what's the difference between this and skin bleaching then? Because they're also uncomfortable with the darkness of their skin. They
But
feel
we
like
don't
they
call
were
them white. Abantu skin bleach, we don't call them white. We still know that they are black.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Young confuser. Young confuser.
Yeah, Ntsiki. Awubafuna abanye abantwana.
No, it's got nothing to do with ukfuna. I'm the biggest fag hag ever. I'm fine with everybody because also I'm also different. So I understand being different, and I understand being alienated. I understand being bullied because you're different. But shy. Like, don't confuse me along the way. I don't know. I just... Bottom line is that I've got boobs, I've got the menstrual cycle going on, there's a hormonal thing that comes with being a woman. There's just so many things. Physiologically, that's why you have to change yourself. If you didn't have to change yourself, then I'd be like, oh, okay, I know, Sisonke. But now that you've actually changed yourself, you've gone through medical procedures, you're taking drugs and whatever, it's just like, I'm fit, come on.
He hates speech and then say.
You hate speech?
That's what you hate speech.
I accept transgender men. Transgender women.
Yeah.
And I accept but in cis women.
I can
all these names. That's the thing. I'm always like, yo.
The imposition of language, like, and your cis man,
that's the thing. Like the queer community has come, mass controller, they're bullying us and they're telling us this is that and whatever. So we've reached a stage now where, because even having a sex offender on TV and then the silence from the queer community, we've reached a point where we're like, okay guys, now we can't call out anything in the queer community in the fear of being called homophobic, even when we know Guti. Oh, this is a bit... Like we're seeing a sex offender on TV, and we've said that sex offense is a criminal thing and it's a criminal charge. So what's happening? And now we can't call it out because we'll be being homophobic if we are. So at least we're getting to a point in society where we can start having conversations without fear of being labeled homophobic, because you're just like, no, but this doesn't make sense.
So you are not a cis woman. I will accept labeling.
I suppose we're just all human beings. We're all human beings. But I'm having to relearn, unlearn, and understand, because I'm just like, no, but you grew up with a PP though. So I don't know. Those two again next time.
Okay, cool. It was easy for me to see that happening. Because when I was saying, what is a woman? Like, I just translated it in my language.
Yes.
In my language, there's no complexity. A man, there's varying degrees to it. Not everyone because not all women are mothers.
Yes.
Not all of women are
yes.
married. Yeah, but so with our language, it's not that complicated.
Yes, that's true, actually. Never thought of that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Have you forgiven yourself from the fact that perhaps TV gigs won't come as a result of your opinions? Like, have you accepted your fate, or podcasting might be the route for you as you've started already? And that we may not see you on Mojo Love and elsewhere as a presenter and making that bag because of your sharp views on things?
I'm hoping that I live in a world that has got room for outspoken women. It would be bad for South Africa if they rob themselves of my mind and my voice in mainstream just because of how we're socialized. That would be unfortunate for us as a community. And I'm hoping that we're bigger than that. And I'm hoping that there will come a time. Because, I mean, even Nama 2000, with their descent, things have changed. My popularity has grown with the arrival of Ama 2000, which means that the world is going in my direction. So,
Do you know that in this video, the number of times we've mentioned the R word and the number of times we've mentioned gays and lesbians and transgenders, that it will be demonetized, and I've accepted my fate. So the world may be progressive in terms of how we express ourselves, but the entrenchment within institutions like YouTube, which is owned by Google, like Moja Love or Mzansi Magic, they still run by traditional white men who are in power. Therefore, this video won't get any money. It will get the views, but because the conversation is stimulating, but it won't get any money. I've forgiven that, and I'm an experienced YouTuber.
wow, is that how that works?
Yep, I'm an experienced YouTuber, so it will be struck down. You'll see with some of the interviews that if it's yellow, it's limited monetization. If it's yellow, like even with my conversation with Sol Penduga, which was supposed to maybe get 200,000 views, they start limiting it. If it's yellow, when they hear the number of times the R word for and that's why I had to explain to the audience. We have 35,000 people who follow us, who are subscribers. I had to explain to them the reason why I bleep out certain words is because of that videos get demonetized.
So I must stop using the word.
Particularly on your platform, because it's in your interest on that platform that you make some money from the videos, because you have a team. People need to be paid.
Yes.
So you will get less money. Even when I spoke to a few corporates, because I have another football channel, and we make money there as World Sports Betting, who are on the platform, and we get a lot of views. When I was trying to get some of them to be on this platform because it's getting big now, they like, yo, but you're speaking to these people, so we can't really be associated with that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it's not a major concern for me. I'm just saying it to alert people that, and young upcoming YouTubers, that's what happens. Like, I know as I'm speaking to you.
That is insane.
Yeah, but censorship exists everywhere, even in spaces where we thought it doesn't exist, particularly on YouTube. Yeah, it exists because YouTube is very good at distributing content. They send it to people who are on YouTube, the content they are, but for as long as they pick up or someone flags it to go to, there's this R word, and I'm sure the LGBTQI community, some of them will have resentment in their hearts. They're gonna flag it, and instead of it being seen by 200,000 people, it will be seen by maybe 20,000 people. It is that significant that you only get 10% of the potential of that video.
What?
Yeah, well, so, but I say this to you because I know like you're a YouTuber now, and it's something you're gonna have to navigate that. But maybe back on the topic of you getting gigs on TV, you still have that intention, radio, TV, and knowing that your thoughts on Twitter are always gonna precede your reputation. That
I know, it's so insane.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to work around that because my words and my social media is not me.
try explaining that shit to them.
Right, I know. Because we started off this conversation saying Dimbo Tonyam.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so much charge, even on my social media, because I've always been like, what the hell? Somebody will say the exact same thing, but not, and then when I say it, then it catches fire.
Yeah.
So I know that my spiritual gift is somewhere in that mix and moving around and shifting and taking up space. So it's tricky. I mean, I even think about, I'm always like, how did you even make it this far? I've never been formally employed, but I've lived and I have a nice life.
That's very impressive.
Right?
That's very impressive.
Even I'm always like, yo, these guys are like looking after me with my big mouth. Damn, how am I doing this? So I don't think too hard about me. I think about the we and what we need to talk about and what we need to unpack as Black people and how we need, that's what I'm thinking about.
Do you still have intention of being on the television screen though? Because where I'm trying to get you at is the realization that you are blacklisted.
My gigs are finished now.
You are soft blacklisted. No one is going to tell you that you are blacklisted.
Yes. No, I kind of knew. I kind of know that I'm not the black person that white people are going to put their money onto. Because I'm here to empower black people. They didn't sign up for that. They want you to coon around and laugh and forgive and forget and Rainbow Nation. So I suppose it is what it is, I suppose.
You accept your fate. Stay on YouTube then.
I hope this YouTube thing pays, huh?
It doesn't pay. It pays when you have a sponsor on your platform. If you have Omo committing to you for 3 months at 100,000 per month because you have 1 million views per month,
yes,
then it pays. It pays in that sense. And then if they have a long-term commitment, which is 12 months or 24 months, then that means you make that 100,000 times 24, which is 2.4 million. You know, but Omo is not going to associate with you. Their executives will say, "Nah, but look at what she's saying."
Yes,
you know. But for as long as you get numbers, you could persuade brands. This is where black businessmen come in.
Yes, that's what I was saying, right?
They should be supporting us with this. But of course, they're going to want to have some sort of influence. Please interview my friend. Please do this.
This is such a helpful conversation, you know?
Yeah, but so Zindo's and Jalo, we navigate the space with those challenges. But of course, we don't feel sad for ourselves.
That's the thing. That's what I thought. I was like, these black diamonds, what's their job? It's just to Instagram and show us their cars.
Yeah. And conquer.
Oh, and then to be like, I'm better than you. Look how well I'm doing. But they don't actually invest in things that are going to move the black community forward.
Yeah. And there's so much reach with YouTube channels and podcasts that they could push their brands there. If they have a water brand or a sneaker brand. But they must pay Ntsiki or Unpopular Opinion 50,000 for the whole month for that. That's the value that they get because they give SABC 500,000 for the same thing because SABC has like a bigger audience and a bigger reach. So give us 10% of what you'll be getting, and only for 30 seconds on SABC. But Kuti is gonna be the whole episode for an hour for the whole month. Yeah, so it's an interesting conversation to be had though.
It's important.
Yeah, someone was saying that. Maybe I'm wrapping up because I know I only have an hour with you. So last 10 minutes as we wrap up. Someone was saying that, and this was an interesting provocation. Uguti, there needs to be some sort of training with people like Jub, not specifically him. Anyone who does reality TV show that are traumatic to people.
Yes.
Utatako, all of those things that you can't just be a presenter.
You need to have trained psychologists.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think the gap is that the trained psychologist may not have the personality to deliver that show and make it exciting. But these guys who do it and make it exciting,
but they're playing with people's trauma. That's what I was saying, that the way mainstream media is set out, for me to get gigs, I'm going to have to sell out black people. I'm going to have to make black people look stupid. I'm going to have to make a mockery out of black pain. And
you're not trained to mediate between a mother and a father. A father who's questioning paternity of a child. It becomes just entertainment.
And you don't see this. Abelung are not doing this on their channels. If you look at CakeNet.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it's like...
There's no Kumbuleka for CakeNet.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, no, you guys, you want to insist that I go play in the mud. You want to insist that I go play in the mud. I must use the gift that the black gods have given us, given all of us gifts, and then you go and undermine it like that. I don't know. I'm having that battle. I'm obviously having that battle of, do I speak or do I just keep quiet and get paid? It's just...
And it's a battle between you and your debit orders, unfortunately. It's like your debit orders will let you know whether or not you need to accept that call from a television station.
You see?
That's the other interesting aspect.
And it's so hard. Sometimes I just say no when I'm just like, And that time, asnamali, but I'm just like, I can't. Like the other time they wanted what Brai was so music or what, and I was like, I can't because I've talked a lot and you know I stand with this, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they were
that's
like, we'll pay
consistency.
you. Yeah, when
That's-
they're like, we'll pay you what, and I was like, I can't. This 15,000 is not going to cover my reputation for the rest of my life.
Because on one hand, you say no sexual offenders. On
Yes, and then there I am laughing and, you know,
And
because
giggling.
of the bag. That's my integrity. So I'm going to have to pray and hope that somewhere out there the universe has got my people who have got my bag that is okay with me being myself.
All right. Last word to black people about love and coexisting with one another. Just in a positive message.
Just that it begins with loving ourselves. That it begins with loving ourselves, you know? Going back to our own things and going back to our own culture, and this thing where we are smaneskopa belungu or setting abelungu as our standard, because now we don't own anything. Excuse me. So just learn to look in the mirror and love what you see.
Nkosi kakhulu, Ntsiki.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching us.
Nkululeko on Cultr.